With me today is a brand new and completely redesigned Volvo S60 sedan. And this competes with the big boys from Germany, such as the Mercedes E-Class, the Audi A6, and also the BMW 5 Series. So, does this have what it takes to compete? So in this video, I'm going to show you the ins and outs, also go for a drive, and finally conclude with the good and bad and ugly, so you can decide if this is the right luxury sedan for you. Stay tuned.
Before I get started, I want to give a big thanks to Volvo Cars and Lyle, which made this video possible. So if you're in the market for a brand new or used Volvo, definitely check them out. Their website URL is in the description below.
So let's start out by taking a look at the side view of this S60. For me, I personally dig this side profile. First, take a look at how low the car is to the ground. And then second, the roof height is also a bit lower, and with those two combined, just makes it look sporty and aggressive, especially when you combine it with the stance, which I'm going to show you in the back. Also, what I dig is the fact that the redesigned package, which this car is equipped with, also gets rid of the chrome. So the chrome window surrounds is replaced with black, painted black, not just matte black, and it just looks good, especially with the black mirror, just gives it a bit more contrast. And lastly, take a look at these 19-inch optional redesigned wheels, which really make the car pop out even more. So overall, I love the side profile to this S60. Now moving to the front, you're not going to confuse this S60 with any of its German or even Japanese counterparts, because it has that signature Volvo look, and it is a great look in my opinion. Now in terms of headlights, fog lights, everything is LED, which is fantastic. Also the Storz hammer, it really shines at night. It just pops out at you. Now in the middle, large grille, Volvo emblem, and this bottom bumper just adds to that aggressiveness. Take a look at it. There's like a chin spoiler down here, completely black, and the overall design just looks good. And you have a couple of parking sensors that go from the side to the middle. And lastly, you have a camera right here for the 360 camera system. And that's it. So moving to the back side, again, you're not going to mistake this with any of his German or Japanese counterparts, but I really dig this backside. It completes the look and it matches the front and the side styling. Now, the taillights definitely remind me of what's on an XC60. And then take a look at the bottom bumper. This is what really gives it that aggressiveness. You have this black trim that kind of goes all the way across, right? And then what pops out is this quad chrome tip on both sides. It just really looks sporty, and I really dig that. And overall, I think this is a really good back end. So moving into the trunk is a good amount of space, but it's definitely not as spacious as what you would find in an SUV. It's pretty plain back here. There's really not a whole lot of dividers or cubby holes or anything like that. On this side, there's really nothing. And then this side, you do have a small little net, and then also 12V plug or outlet, and that's pretty much it back here. The rear seat backs, you can see in the middle, you can open that up, so if you have something long like skis or something, you could definitely fit it through. Now one thing that's really surprising and also disappointing for this S60 is the fact that there's no power trunk lid option. Now you could see, you would figure this is what it is, but no, this is nothing, and this is to lock the door. Everything is manual, which is not a big deal, but for a car in this segment, it's pretty much a standard option, or even if it was an optional option, it would be better, but it's just not available on this S60. Now moving to the second row, this is a really comfortable spot to be in. The R-Design package gives you specially designed R-Design seats, which not only look fantastic, but they feel very, very comfortable. I feel like I could sit here for a long time without getting any kind of pain or backache or anything like that. Now, in terms of space, you can see I'm 5'10", plenty of leg room, 6 inches at least, plenty of headroom and width. There's a good amount of it. I feel confident that 3 kids could definitely fit in here. Adults that are on the slimmer side, you could possibly fit 3 in a row back here. It is pretty wide. And those of you guys that have car seats with kids, you could definitely fit the larger ones back here, no problem. In terms of latches, you do get one on each side. Now, in terms of amenities, I feel like it's a little bit lacking. The air vents, there's one on each side, there's none in the middle. There's no temperature control here either, which is kind of like standard now in luxury cars. You do get heated seats, which is the controls are over here. And then you also get one 12V outlet, that's it. So you're sharing that between the two, and also there's no USB port, so you have to get some kind of adapter. Now, in terms of the armrest, you do get a couple of cup holders, space for your phone, and more space for whatever you want back here. And that's pretty much it. So it's a little bit lacking in terms of the amenities that you would normally find in a luxury car. Now, to fold the seat down, you can see over here, there's 2 buttons. One is to fold the headrest down like that, and then 2, this opens up like so. Now, even though the car does only have 2 latches, one there, one there, in terms of tethers for car seats, there's 3, 1, 2, and 3. All right, so I'm behind the wheel now. Now, take a look at the dash layout, right? From the door panel to the dash, to the display, the infotainment, to the center console here. This is all very simple and elegant, and this is across all Volvo's cars and SUVs, which is a fantastic thing. I love this design. Starting with the gauge cluster, you could see the whole thing is one big screen, 9-inch screen, which is really nice. You have your speed, navigation, your RPM, everything is there, and you could set a few things. Over here, it'll tell you the speed limit, so it flashes if you're going too fast. Over here, you could do adaptive cruise control and pilot assist, and also you could set the distance over here between you and the car in front of you. Over here, you could press and you could have a couple menu items, trip, media, phone, navigation. So everything is pretty much on here, and it looks really good. Now, moving to the steering wheel, this is like all the other steering wheels, and this is a special R-design one. It just looks a bit better. Take a look at the stitching, white stitching all across, and this leather just feels really good. Feels nice and thick, and it just feels good in your hands. You do have paddle shifters, both sides. This is aluminum, so it looks nice. Now, moving here, this is what really grabbed your attention, the infotainment, or the large 12-inch screen that works like an Android phone, and that is a really good thing. It is touch, it's responsive. You can see there's not a lot of buttons. You only have the ones that's essential, such as volume, play. You got defroster and forward and backwards, and that's pretty much it. That's all you really want. Now, if you move to the right side, this is where you can control your settings, Bluetooth, whether or not you want applications, such as you can see here, you could have weather, Pandora, Google search. You could definitely put on CarPlay, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto that is available. There's a few pre-installed apps for, say, your performance, sound experience. You could select through a few things. Now, in the middle is kind of like your home page. This shows you some of the critical things: your current position, your radio station, if there's any update, your phone. Okay. Now, down here, climate control, one on each side. You personally press it and you just go up or down like so. Same thing on this side. And if you press the middle here, this is how you could do auto, and you could do max, rear, recirculating, all that good stuff. Now, if you want to go back, this is what a lot of people get confused. There's a home button right here. So just press that, it goes back for you. So now, moving to the left side, here are some options or functions of the car that you control. For example, you could adjust the heads-up display, you could fold the headrest, your camera. The car could help you park in and out of spots. Heads-up display, whether you want it or not, road sign information, corner illumination, active bending lights. So you get the point. There's a lot of things that you could change: park assist, lane keep assist, cross traffic alert, distance alert, auto start stop. I'm going to turn that off because I hate that. All right, but that's pretty much it. And you get some notifications if you swipe down like so. So it works very much like an Android, but also very similar to the iOS. All right, over here, normal shifter, which is outstanding. Volvo is not trying to copy these manufacturers. They're trying to overcomplicate things. This is nice. You got some space for your change. You got another 12V outlet here. Cup holders. That's not very deep, I gotta say. You know, for really big, I don't know, 32, 64 ounce drinks, probably won't fit here pretty well. Engine start or stop button is here. You actually twist it like this, and then the engine is off. And then if you want to start it, if you press the drive mode selector, you can select between eco, comfort, and dynamic, and I'm going to leave it at dynamic. But normally dynamic for Volvos will basically hold the revs higher for you, so sometimes going low speeds is not so good. And this is a parking brake. Now moving in the middle, just big space over here, and then you do have a couple USB plugs over there. Interesting, I just noticed this. You see that there's a little flag on the seat, a Swedish flag. Interesting, nice little touch. Now over here, the mirror, SOS button, you could call, and then look at the panoramic sunroof. By default, okay, it's kind of like it's tinted, but also it has this cloth that's see-through, which adds to the brightness in here, even when this is closed. Obviously, if you want to open it, it becomes a lot more brighter. It is tinted, but still, it lets a lot of light in. But I just want to show you guys, that's kind of interesting that you do have a cover, but it's semi-transparent cover. So there you go. All right, let's go for a drive. I gotta say, I miss driving sedans. Normally I drive an SUV, either my wife's SUV or my Ridgeline, and everything I reviewed is SUVs, and that's because SUVs are definitely the most popular cars being sold now. But in terms of sedan, you sit nice and low to the ground, like in this S60. It feels very planted because you're low to the ground. Center of gravity is low. You definitely feel planted and more connected to the road, and it just feels different. It feels different. I actually really enjoy it. I'm going low speeds, about 20 miles per hour over here through these curves, and this steering feels good. It's actually it's heavier than I expected. It is electronic steering, but it has that good feel. It doesn't feel very light at all. It does feel somewhat rewarding and engaging, which is really nice. Suspension feels really planted. The low center of gravity could definitely be felt or not felt. I don't feel much body roll at all like a lot of the SUVs. Definitely a good sporty drive, and also very luxurious. Let's not forget that. It is a very smooth and quiet ride so far. I don't hear anything, which is to be expected. Even the engine, sometimes the engine's a little bit noisy. Not this one. Now this is the T6 model, which has the very unique supercharged and turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that's pushing over 300 horsepower. I believe it's 316 to be exact. That is a lot of horsepower for a 4-liter, and it's nice and smooth. The torque kicks in quickly because of the turbo, and you get more high-end horsepower also from the supercharger. It's a nice combination. I don't know how Volvo did it, but all the T6s that is across Volvo's lineup has this engine, and right now it definitely suits this car well, but of course I'm going slow, so let's see what happens when I take her out on the normal roads. Now this S60 also does have pilot assist, which is semi-autonomous driving. Now a lot of cars kind of have that now, where it does have adaptive cruise control, which kind of sets a distance between you and the car in front of you. Also, it keeps you in the lane keep assist system, and it kind of combines the two, and it kind of becomes semi-autonomous driving, which I will test out and see how good it is. One of the things I love about Volvos is I showed you guys the gauge cluster is all digital, but when you turn on the turn signal, it does analog simulation. It's an analog sound, but you could tell it's the digital analog sound, but I love it anyways. I don't know if you could hear that. Let's see how this engine does. Oh yeah. Man, that got up to, I went about 70 miles per hour. That got up to 70 quick. I know I've driven this T6 engine in an XC60 and an XC90. It felt okay, but it didn't feel quick because obviously they are SUVs and they weigh a lot more than this car. This S60 feels quick, which is a big plus. Yeah, I mean, especially if you put in dynamic mode, which I have it in right now, it's instant torque. You put your foot down, you go feel that torque. It feels very nice. I do enjoy this. And right now, the steering also feels nice. Just like when I was driving back there in the park, it was engaging. It was not light, and it made me feel like I'm more connected to the car. And even at high speeds, I still get that feeling. So kudos to Volvo for doing an outstanding job on the steering. Now the brakes catch on really fast, so you kind of get used to that. And a lot of cars is somewhat in the middle. Over here, it is not. It kind of just catches, right? So you got to watch out for that. Now in terms of visibility, it's pretty good. Even with the lower roof height, at least from the outside, look that way. Inside, you don't really feel it. You feel you're in the car, definitely. You're not sitting above like a lot of SUVs. You're sitting within. These seats, these redesigned seats are nice. They really hold you in. I gotta say though, bottom cushion is a little bit narrow, so if you're on the bigger side, these redesigned seats might not be that comfortable because I feel like I'm stretching it out a bit. But visibility, really good. Side window, front window, no problems. I would say the rear deck height is a little bit high, so it kind of cuts into the rear visibility. Not too bad, but if you're sitting here, you could definitely see. Remember I showed you where the seat tethers are on the top? Like that part kind of sticks up maybe 4 or 5 inches higher than it should. So that kind of gets in the way a little bit on the back, but outside of that, visibility is good. If you have the sunroof open, you let the light in, it definitely feels airy. You don't feel very cramped. All right. I just turned on the pilot assist. So it's a two-step process. You have to set the miles per hour, and then you have to engage it. Otherwise, it will just speed up. But I have this pilot assist on. Whoa, you see? It does work. It's just, it's kind of frightening at first, and it's not recommended really at low speeds. If you're on the highway, that's where it'll really shine. Let's conclude with the good and bad and ugly to this S60. Starting from the outside, definitely a good thing. Volvo's design language that carries across all their cars and SUVs, that is a fantastic look, and it finally carried over to the S60, and this is one good looking sedan. On the inside, same thing. The infotainment system, the gauge cluster, the whole dash console, This design is across all Volvo's lines, and that is a fantastic thing. It's a very simple, elegant look, and it definitely looks the part, and it feels and functions really well, especially in the infotainment system. It's like your phone. It's very responsive, left or right. You press it, there's no delay at all, very little manual buttons. That's what you want. Driving, equally as good. This is one quick sedan. This turbocharged and supercharged engine definitely has that low-end torque and high-end horsepower. I definitely felt it. This is definitely an engaging ride. It does feel that way. The seats hug you in. The steering is tight, so it just makes you feel like you're driving something special, and I really dig that. Now, in terms of the bad, it really comes down to a few amenities or options that should be available. For example, the trunk lid is not powered. It's not an option. Even if you want to pay for it, it's not there. And I know some people are looking for that. And a lot of cars in this class, that's just a standard thing. Now in the rear, I'm kind of disappointed that there's no climate control. There's no USB ports. Those are kind of important, especially again in a car of this class, and you don't get a whole lot back there either. From a cup holder standpoint, you'll get 2 in the middle, that's it. From a vent standpoint, you get 1 on each side, that's it. So just little things like that are just missing. So in terms of price, because this has all the options, this has the redesigned package, some optional things such as the wheels, and also all-wheel drive and a T6 engine option, it's coming in the mid-50s before incentives. But of course, there are ones that's priced lower, so it just depends on what you're looking for. If you enjoyed this video, I definitely appreciate a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, and definitely check out the other videos I already have on my channel. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.